Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I know it's been like 3 months since I last posted a video, but I got a new job, I moved to a different country, and that's what I kind of want to talk about with you guys today. So at the end of 2021, I got a job offer to work at Amazon in the US, and today's video is going to be all about how I got that job, how I prepared for the interview process, and how you guys can increase your chances of success if you're looking to get a job at one of these big tech companies. It doesn't have to be Amazon, it can be like Facebook, Google, Netflix, whatever it is. But today I wanted to talk about a couple of things, mainly the interview process, what I did to prepare for the interview process, and then a couple of tips for you guys to succeed and increase your chances of getting a job. So first, let's go through the interview process, like super basic. I can't go into too many details. I don't think I'm allowed to actually say what questions I was asked, but we can go through it at a high level. So the interview process consisted of 3 steps. Basically, the first was a phone screen where it was a pretty generic interview with a recruiter from Amazon. They called me and we just talked about nothing technical, but just about like more generic stuff. After that, they sent me a take-home assignment, which I had like 1 day or 2 days to complete. I can't really remember, but you have a set deadline from when you start it to complete it. And basically that was, like LeetCode, code, easy to medium types of questions. And then after that, if you're successful with that, then you move on to the on-site. Now the on-site is the main bulk of the interview. In my case, it was 4 interviews back to back in 1 day, and this consisted of both technical questions and then also behavioral type questions that, you just talk about your experiences, right? So the technical questions, I would say again, were probably like LeetCode code medium, maybe easy to medium type questions. And really that's it. That was the entire interview process. It took a couple of weeks to go through the whole thing, but the real important part isn't the interview process itself, it's how you prepare. And that's what I really want to outline for you guys today. So what I did to prepare for these interviews was I would set aside some time every single day, probably I would say 4 to 5 hours a day for 3 weeks, where I just did LeetCode questions. This means going on LeetCode, what you can do is go to the top interview prep questions, sort by easy to medium, and then just go nuts and just do as many as you can. You can also get premium, and what you can do there is actually sort by Amazon's top interview questions. You can sort by Facebook's top interview questions. And what I would do, I highly recommend, if you guys are serious about getting a job at a big tech company, or just getting your first job as a software engineer, and there's going to be a technical aspect of the interview, I would 100% get LeetCode Premium, because you just get, there's less bullshit. You pay for 1 month, I think it's like $40, and then you just study for the month as you prepare for the interview. And what you can do is just sort by the most asked, the most recently asked questions, and then you're kind of getting very, very relevant questions that you can practice with, right? So I was probably doing 5 questions a day for I was spending an hour per question. And my logic was, I could do as many as I possibly can, so that if I got a question that was brand new that I'd never seen before in the interview process, at the very least, I would, have practiced so many different patterns and strategies of solving questions that I would be able to come up with something. Right, so not even necessarily complete the question fully, but at least be at a place where I can get any type of question and start thinking and kind of have a couple of ideas at least of where I can go from there, and then work on the problem that I got. So one of the things that really helped me when I was prepping for the interviews was I found this Trello board online. Which what Trello is basically a list. You can it's basically a website where you can just make tasks, and then as you complete the tasks, you can check them off and stuff, right? So I'm not going to take credit for this Trello board, but I found one online. I'm going to link it in the description. Basically, someone made this Trello board where it's specifically for interview prep. So I'll probably show it on the screen somewhere here. So what I basically did was I made a task for every single topic that I wanted to cover. Right, so for example, data structures, algorithms, binary trees, heap sort, whatever it is, bubble sort. If you want to practice different topics and that it's potentially going to be on the interview, then I made a task for it. And every single task on the Trello board was a different topic that I had to practice. And within the task, you can set different subtasks as well. And I set subtasks that were basically okay, for each topic that I wanted to cover, I need to complete at least 5 questions on LeetCode, 5 easy or 5 medium, whatever it is. I need to complete these types of questions, and then I can mark this topic completed. And what I had at the end of the day was 10 to 15 different topics that I wanted to cover, and I knew that I had to do at least 5 to 10 LeetCode questions for each one of these topics. And it really helped me, stay focused, stay motivated, because every single day I was checking off one question, for one topic, a question for this topic, and I knew that I was making progress because every single day I would be checking off more and more boxes and covering more and more topics. right? So I'm not kidding when I say that this Trello board was one of the main things that really helped me and motivated me. I would have never thought of making one of these myself, but it really helped and kept me focused, kept me on track, and just let me know what I was doing and where I was going, right? Before, when I was interviewing for different companies, I would just be practicing LeetCode questions without any kind of direction. And what I would basically do is, okay, I would complete a couple of LeetCode questions here, a couple of LeetCode questions there, but I wasn't really tracking what topics I was covering. And once you're actually tracking the specific topics you're covering, and doing 5 questions on just arrays, just sorting arrays, and then 5 questions on just, binary trees themselves. You're really being a lot more productive with your time, and you're not wasting as much, just repeating different topics, or, focusing too much on one topic and then too little on another, because you know that you need 5 for each one, right? So I would say practicing LeetCode mixed with using this Trello board was really the thing that led to my success when I was interviewing for Amazon. And another thing I did was I knew that during the onsite there would also be behavioral type questions, right? So not technical ones, but just questions when you're talking about your own experiences, and this like situational type questions. So I knew I couldn't just focus strictly on LeetCode, but I also had to prepare for these behavioral type questions as well. And for this, what I basically did was I just thought about, my entire career and my entire experience as a software developer, and came up with different situations, where, I had to lead a project, or, a situation where I failed, where I had a task and I couldn't complete it in time, or a different situation where I exceeded all expectations. And I basically made a list of like 15 to 20 different scenarios that I could possibly be asked, and I came up with an example for each one. And that's really how I prepared and what I did. And then at the end of the day, I basically was thinking and had a couple of different scenarios and had a couple of different examples to talk about. And so when it came up in the actual interview and they were asking me, okay, tell me about this, tell me about a time when this happened or that happened, I had an answer for everything. And it really did help to prepare beforehand, not just the LeetCode part, but also thinking about these behavioral type questions. I know a lot of people tend to focus only on the technical part, but the behavioral questions are really just as important, because it lets the interviewers know how you deal with certain situations, how you deal under pressure, different things that you've worked on. And it's basically just another way to gauge your experience other than like only the technical part, So I would focus on that as well, not just the technical part. A lot of great developers don't end up successfully completing these interviews because they don't take this behavioral part as seriously, right? So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. So basically what I did to prepare for my Amazon interview was I practiced LeetCode every day for like 3 to 4 weeks. I tracked every single LeetCode problem I was doing, every topic I was covering, and I also focused on thinking about my career and different situations that have arisen and talking about them with an interviewer if they were asked, right? So I hope this video helps you guys out. If you guys have enjoyed this video, I would greatly appreciate a subscribe or a like to the video, or just leave a comment down below with anything you think I missed or anything you guys want to add. As always, have a good day and enjoy your coding.